Industry has taken a blow amid travel restrictions and border closures, while small businesses are set to receive $250 billion of loans. The government says it wants to send checks to Americans as soon as possible, which could be worth $1,000.
What we've heard from hardworking Americans, many companies have now shut down, whether it's bars or restaurants. Americans need cash now, and the president wants to get cash now. And I mean now, in the next 2 weeks.
As well as steps announced by the Federal Reserve to boost liquidity, the measures were well received on Wall Street. A day after their steepest decline since the 1987 crash, US stocks jumped, the Dow Jones rising 5.2%.
Well, as you may have heard, President Trump has for several days now been describing COVID-19 as the Chinese virus, this increasing tensions with Beijing. China has since announced it will expel American journalists working at 3 US newspapers, the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal and the Washington Post. Beijing saying this move in retaliation for the expelling of Chinese journalists based in the States. Our China correspondent Charles Pellegrin has more.
Beijing explained these expulsions, which will concern at least 13 American journalists based in China, as being in retaliation for the American decision to label Chinese state media outlets in the U.S. as being foreign agents and requiring them to cut down some of their staff. Now, that particular American decision was taken in retaliation for the expulsion of 3 Wall Street journalists, Wall Street Journal reporters in China last month. That expulsion followed an op-ed headline in the journal that was considered racist by the Beijing authorities. Worth noting that none of the 3 reporters in question had any role in writing that particular headline. Now, on a deeper level, this shows Washington's increasing concern over the growing Chinese influence over global discourse and the lack of independence of those state media outlets. Now, at the end of the day, the journalists are caught in the middle between Washington and Beijing and paying the price of this strategic tit-for-tat rivalry. And this already in a very hostile environment. In 2019, 82% of foreign journalists in China have said that they experienced either interference, harassment, or violence while working in the country.
Charles Pellegrin for us there. Now, scientists across the world are working around the clock to find a vaccine against COVID-19. China has now authorized clinical trials on its first vaccine developed to try and combat the virus. However, no vaccine is expected to be available to the general public for at least 18 months. Emerald Maxwell has been taking a look.
Leading a worldwide hunt. US researchers have given the first shot to the first person of an experimental coronavirus vaccine.
Everybody's feeling so helpless right now, and I realized that there was something that I could do to help, and I'm excited to be here.
The effort is one of several hunting for protection against COVID-19 as the pandemic grows. Hot on America's heels, China has also given the go-ahead for researchers to begin human safety tests of another vaccine, led by China's Academy of Military Medical Sciences.
我们按照国际的规范，按照国内的法规，已经做了它的安全、有效、质量可控、可大规模生产的前期的准备工作。我们已经做好了随时开展正式临床的所有准备。
Experts at the World Health Organization, however, say they don't expect any fully tested and approved vaccine to reach the market until the middle of next year. In the meantime, though, French researchers are testing a number of different medications to treat the symptoms of coronavirus. French pharmaceutical giant Sanofi and American drug maker Regeneron have also started trials for Kevzara, a drug which they hope will reduce lung inflammation seen in severe cases of the virus.
Well, those are the top stories we're following for you. And just before we go, time to show you some images from here in Paris, where from within confinement at home, residents have been breaking out into applause for doctors and healthcare workers. Take a listen.